And to your previous question though about World of Warcraft, fuck man, like I don't know. I really want to play World of Warcraft, but until they change their end game, and there was a question on Twitter by Akolon, who I like and I respect his opinions a lot. Let me see this. Oh, I have comments. All right, so what is one thing you believe WoW desperately lacks at the moment to make it truly the king of MMOs, which technically it still is. So I wrote, right, and more accessible end game and decreased in item level gaps between beginning to max level and actual end game gear. Mythic Plus needs to feel more fun with affixes rather than punishing. It needs to be, in my opinion, queuable, like similar to how Greater Rifts work in Diablo 3, where it's like you got a certain score, you can go into that key, right? And you can just queue to it. Not necessarily like you still form the group beforehand, but you can queue to it. There's no reason to run to the dungeons. Like it doesn't give you anything aside from wasting your time, right? Raids need to be more accessible. Remove LFR. Make normal mode the story mode, where it's like the normal mode is like where you go through the. Even honestly, you can make normal mode like LFR, where you just get into a part of the raid. You do that part. You get the NPC talking. You get the lore and all that stuff. And then heroic, just fucking boss rush that shit. Like just like you're killing heroic. Mythic, same thing. And mythic shouldn't even drop item level gear. Just give you cosmetic. It's like, and this cosmetic needs to be temporary for the patch. So it's like if let's say right now Vault of Incarnates is the current patch raid. If you're doing mythic raiding and you get the loot from there, that loot, that appearance goes away. And this would also make it so that the appearances mean something again. Because right now everyone just walks around with like the cool shit from Legion, like from Mythic Legions. Like why? That makes no sense. Like that appearance needs to be an achievement, similar to how elite PvP gear is an achievement. You got to the elite PvP appearance. Yeah, it had item level, but you want the appearance because you know when you see someone wearing that appearance, you know this guy's a fucking PvPer. Right? You know this guy is a god PvP player. You want to see mythic raiders with gear that you can't achieve. Right now, the way I see mythic raiding, it's like, well, it has cool looking stuff. I'll just wait 2 expansions from now, and then I can grind it solo and get all of those appearances. So it has no, it loses its value because you know you can easily get it later on. It's bittersweet because I loved WoW, we all did, but that weekly reset bullshit got to me, and I was doing PvP majority of the time. This one is the weekly reset. Are you talking about the vault or are you talking about like raid lockouts? What do you mean by the weekly reset? Like, what do you mean by that? Yeah, the weekly reset stuff. I personally don't like lockouts as a whole. I think it's a bad mechanic overall. I understand why they want to do it, but in my opinion, weekly lockouts as a whole are just a time gating bullshit that doesn't need to happen. It just forces you to play the same character and multiple characters to see which one gets the better gear if you're like just trying to get the best gear. Vaults and item levels. Yeah. So the vault bullshit, in my opinion, is garbage design. I hate the fucking vault. Knowing that the best way for you to get gear is to hope for it in the vault is fucking dumb. Like, I am tired. You know what the problem is? MMORPG should stop pretending to be ARPGs. In the worst way as well. You play an ARPG to kill shit and get loot. That's what an ARPG really is for. Now, yeah, you can do the like challenges stuff like that, but it's still you. The whole point of it is like you kill shit, you blow shit up, you can do a hard boss like solo usually, and you can get cool loot from it and become stronger. That is an ARPG. I don't think that has any place in MMORPG. Well, it has some place in MMORPG, sure, but I don't think it should be the main focus. And in WoW, it is the main focus. And that's what really kills MMORPG. This is why I'm really enjoying stuff like Guild Wars 2 and why I really enjoyed ESO, aside from like, technical issues. I would say ESO also. I love horizontal gameplay because I am not in a rush to get the best loot because I know it goes away. Right? I want the MMO to be something I can immerse myself in and not something that is like, oh, I'll just log in, kill some shit, and log out. That's not what an MMORPG is for. MMORPGs were there for you to literally escape your life. Not to take a break from your life, but to escape from your life. And an ARPG is to take a break from life. A shooter is to take a break from your life. You don't immerse yourself in a shooter. You don't play a shooter for 16 hours. You play an MMO for 16 hours in a day, right? You want to be in the world. And when something like Mythic Plus, as good of a system as it technically is dumb as fuck in an MMO. Because all you're doing is grinding a dungeon. You're doing an ARPG content inside of an MMO. And I'm not saying it doesn't have space in it, and I think it's fine to have that content, but when it is the main content, because Mythic Plus right now is more main content than raids in terms of PvE, which is super dumb. Most people want to gear up their character, be strong, and fight big-ass fucking bosses. Not run around killing trash over and over and over and over and over. That's not what an MMORPG is for. Let alone you're in an instance with 4 other degenerates like you running the same fucking content over and over like fucking monkeys. And you're disconnected from the world. If you want to do that, just play something like Vindictus or, Dragon's Nest is no longer available. But play a dungeon crawler, because that's what WoW has become. WoW is literally just a dungeon crawler right now. That's like the end game is dungeon crawler. Now you can say it's like, oh, but they added so much world content and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, they did. But what does that world content really give you? Not much, because you don't care about it, because the game isn't encouraging you to get more gear. Would you rather do world content with green gear or with green gear, let's say 350 item level, or would you rather do it with 420 item level? Of course, with 420 item level, just fucking demolish everything. That's a lot more fun. So it's like the world content is always secondary to the gear. You're not, and also, what is the world content really? Rare farming? Okay, you do the rare farming. What is a rare farm? Well, you just wait for the rare to spawn, and then 50 players jump on this poor fucking NPC, beat the shit out of him, and hope for something to drop. Yeah, bro, engaging world content, 100%. There's no exploration, there's no mini puzzles in the game, there's no like mini games, there's no like cool lore. I mean, there are some cool lore tidbits and stuff, but, they're locked behind reputation that you have to grind for weeks on end in order to even get a little bit of like lore. That's not, I feel like that's not what an MMORPG is about. And again, I could be wrong. Maybe like for some people it is. But a lot of WoW right now for me is not what an MMORPG was for. You have a character that you want to play around with. That's not what WoW is for. Right now your character is just a vehicle to do stuff. Instead of like you do stuff because you want your character to be something, right? It's like it feels like it's in reverse if I think about it. It's like I don't know how you can fix this with WoW, while it's still a vertical progression with so many item levels. I mean, the suggestions I gave will not fix WoW. They will fix some issues, like a quick fix for some stuff, and will be more entertaining in a sense. But yeah.